And these runners are off, losing that big Kong, and start rolling, get the extendo. And the first level is about halfway over here. Don't blink, you might miss a stage.
What's up, August 40th?
Yo, what's going on, Lumo?
Just sat down. I'm here to help you out with commentary if you're willing.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got Joe v. Jackie. Pretty good matchup here. A couple of very good players with some 33s. Pretty closely lined up. Entering Reptile pretty much in sync.
Right here.
Getting some good crawl space zips here. That snake extendo. And then you want to hit a million snakes coming through that snake pit. Nice job by both Joe and Jackie. Jackie got a little bit of time on Joe there. Still anyone's game. They're within about a second. So Coral Caper is the first water stage of the game. Lots of time to be saved or lost here, depending on your corners and your mashing and your timing of your lunges on the fish. Jackie got a good fast start there. Joe did as well. If you swim up very close to the time when you mount the fish, you will start on the fish going upwards at your swim up speed. So it sort of saves you that acceleration time. Another piece of hot tech on the fish here is to lunge around the corners. You get a little speed boost when you cut those corners really tightly. Both of them safely out of capers into Barrel Canyon. It's a pretty much auto-scroller stage. The stage does most of it for you. You go through these auto cannons along the top of the stage, with the exception of a couple places where you have to come down to make it to the next section of cannons. And looks like both players made it through that extendo there, so they're free and clear out of this stage. One last neat little extendo right there. Jackie missed it, and Joe did as well. Very interesting. Usually just try to bump that guy just to get a little bit extra speed. Every time you roll through an enemy, you move a little bit faster. I believe it's 25% faster than roll speed. Joe losing Diddy on Naughty. A little bit of a time loss there. Luckily, there is a barrel very early on in the next stage, Winky's Walkway. So we got a couple sub 350s, so they're still holding pretty strong. And through the end of World 1. Winky's Walkway, very satisfying stage play. You definitely want Diddy first, as you can see by the extendo that you do at the beginning. Cross that gap and hit that bird. Despite the stage's name, we never actually see Winky. He's up in a crate right after that first extendo, but doesn't save any time, unfortunately, so we just bypass him. Jackie grabs the barrel in Minecart Carnage. I think Joe usually skips it. Yep, nice barrel skip there. Saves about a quarter of a second. And actually jumping saves time in the cart, so just when you think you don't have to do anything, jumping saves time. It makes you go a little bit faster. You save a handful of frames.
Looks like Jackie's about 5 or 6 seconds ahead.
Yeah, he's pulling away a little bit, seems like. Jackie taking the tire all the way with him, messing up a little crawl space zip there. If you jump into a crawl space by holding down, and then if you are more than halfway through the crawl space on whichever side, if you try to roll, it'll zip you out the other side. both of them executing B skip very nicely. B skip is where you skip the Bs. Tough trick to grasp based upon the name, obviously. And into stop and go station. Stage is normally pretty tricky to play through warpless, but luckily you can just go right back in through the entrance, and then it takes you to the end of the stage. The other gimmick of this stage is you roll through the rock crocs. They do not hurt you. Enemies exclusive to that stage as well. You don't see them anywhere else in the game. Alright, so first we're going to be setting up our first major glitch of the game right here. You see Donkey jump off the top of the screen. Means the super jump's charged. Joe doing the fancy back boost. Messed it up a little bit, but he still gets it. And he is going to be on his way out of Millstone. Jackie's about 6:15 bird entrance. And Joe 6:25, so he's about 10 seconds back now. Bird's the first instance of RNG, one of two instances, whether he spawns on the top or the bottom, the left or the right. All that really matters is that he spawns on the bottom just because it's easier to hit him that way. Left or right doesn't matter so much, you just have to adjust to it. Swagging with those slap slides, that's right. It's a 1-frame trick. Apparently if you jump, it actually turns it into a 2-frame. You need to press down a direction and Y, and Donkey will slap the ground and also move in a direction. Using Donkey to access that Donkey only warp barrel there, it's actually on a timer as well, so you need to be quick with Donkey, which is tough sometimes. He's not as fast as Diddy, not as nimble, harder to control sometimes as well, has much bigger hitbox, so generally we go through most of the game as Diddy. He's a lot easier to play. But there are some places where it actually ends up being faster to use him, and mainly it's in those warps that are exclusive to him, like in Millstone and Vulture Culture that they just did. So another super jump here, Jacky setting it up right now. Launches his Diddy in the wall, see him jump off the top of the screen. Super jump is charged. And I don't think he's going to go for the SJR. Nope, just takes the regular jump roll. I'm sorry, the regular super jump. I think Joe's stick with the super jump as well. Yep, okay. Joe will go for the super jump roll in PB attempts, but I think he's trying to keep it safe for the tournament race here. Could have put him ahead of Jacky by a handful of seconds, probably, but also risks losing 30 seconds if he is late on it there. Jacky coming down a little bit early, almost taking damage there, but he made it out okay. Onto Temple Tempest, one of the first really hard platforming stages in my opinion. First real experience of extendos. There's 4 of them that people normally, I shouldn't say normally, there are basically 4. I'll say 2 or 3 are normal to go for. That first rope skip right there that Jacky just did is pretty much the end of what's normal. There's one right here to skip that naughty wheel that not a whole lot of people go for, especially in races. And then the last one coming up right here, you'll roll through 2 guys, and then that one more, and he jumps out of it, which is safe. But you can roll through it all the way to that tire. You bounce over the naughty wheel. So you get that extra speed from rolling through more enemies for a longer amount of time. Very nice execution. And now we're going to do another major glitch. This is the first wrong warp, and only wrong warp of this category. It's called Map Warp. You need both your Kongs in the Funky's flight barrel or just one single Kong, and you press any face button as if you're entering a stage right there on that corner that Jacky just hit. So 3rd try for him. Let's see if Joe can do better. First try for Joe. So you made up about 3 seconds there. Now into Clam Chowder, Clam City. Second water stage of the game. Another use of the fish. Again, there can be plenty of time saved or lost here, judging by how they take their corners, their lunges, if they lose the fish, etc. and so forth. There's not so much that you do in this stage just as the Kong, so it's primarily an Eduardo stage. Jackie with a good line right there. Joe taking that same line as well, down through the sharks. And there's a clam clip at the very end of the stage. I don't know if Jackie's gonna go for it. Yep, he gets it, very nice. So you get invulnerability frames, iframes, as Eduardo. And then Joe does the dismount. That's the new tech that's come about. It saves you from having to try to clip through the clam rather. And if you end up failing the clam clip, you lose your fish and lose a little bit of time there. So very nice execution by Joe. Still very tight race here. Both of them on the B boss. You just smack it with barrels when it's yellow and then it turns red. When it's red, it's invulnerable. We'll do a number of swoops, increasing in speed every time you hit it. 11:31 exit for Jackie. That's a pretty good time, especially without the SJR. And 11:40 for Joe. Still within striking distance, definitely. World record is 32:12. For those that were asking. Let's see. Jackie opts out of zero roll. Looked like he had it. And Joe not going for Joe roll, the trick named after him. Also jumping out of zero roll. And then, ooh, Jackie got barrel boost. That's good. It looked like he was going to miss it, actually, for a second. Joe taking the turn back, still getting the barrel boost there, but he's one barrel shy, actually. Interesting. Okay, nice little extendo there. And I don't think he goes for under barrel. Nope, taking it safe. Okay. Jackie exiting Snow Barrel Blast on Slipside Ride. This stage has a unique song and level layout. You don't see this sort of Crystal Cave layout anywhere else in the game, nor do you hear the song Crystal Chant. In my opinion, highly underrated, and they could have made much more use of it. So, nice out of bounds by both of them. You jump upwards on the rope by holding down. It's kind of counterintuitive, but if you're at the top of the screen and you hold down while you jump up on the rope, it pushes you out of bounds. Joe doing Joe ropes there. You can see his jumping was kind of spastic. It's perk of playing on emulator. He uses a keyboard as opposed to a SNES controller. So first use of our buddy Espresso here. He's a bird. He's very fast. And you need to hold Y as long as you're running on the ground with him in order to run at his top speed. However, once you jump in the air, you don't need to hold Y anymore, but you do need to flap with the B button in order to make some of these gaps. Pretty, I don't want to call it easy, but it's definitely like a muscle memory stage. You do the same every time. There's not a whole lot of room for error, but there's also not a whole lot of ways to mess up. Now on to Croctopus Chase. Another water stage. However, this one we do not typically see on guard. He's a little bit slower. You lose some time going out of your way to get him. He is faster, of course, than the Kongs, but it's so late in the level where he is and so far out of the way that going to pick him up ends up losing time and being slower overall, despite his speed being faster than the Kongs. The lovely sounds that are pleasing your ears right now are Aquatic Ambiance. It's a fan favorite track. You get about 2.5 minutes of it throughout this stage. So this all comes down to cutting corners, mashing the B button as you swim up channels like this where Jackie is right now. There is no cap on swim speed, so if you can hit the B button to swim up every other frame, that would be the optimal speed, but that's a little out of human feasibility for the time being. Both of them taking some pretty good corners here. Hitting B every 1/30 of a second's not exactly a human viable strat just right yet. Need to become cyborgs first. Sorry about that. The dog seems to have found something that upsets her. Jackie's on pretty good croc right now. As well as Joe. Didn't get to hear the pianos because we have Joe's audio. Pretty good stage. That was darn good. On to Torchlight Trouble. This is the first of the stages where the gimmick is the lights are out. And to compensate for that, in the beginning of the stage, they give you Squawks as a baby. He appears later in the trilogy a couple other times as a bigger bird, and you either get carried by him or turn into him. But here he just holds a little lantern for you. However, it creates a lot of lag, so typically runners will opt to not get the bird. Jackie opting out of Rope Bridge Rumble SJR, so this is a good chance for Joe to make up a lot of time if he goes for it. Not sure if he will, though. He's been pretty upset with the trick as of late, and he's going for it. So if he hits this, he should surpass Jackie. Jump looks good. Takes damage. Oh, a little bit late on the frame press, so he ended up just getting the super jump. So I guess now's a good time to explain it. Super jump roll is a super jump plus a jump roll, as the name would suggest. Super jump is the thing that you saw earlier in both Millstone and Forest Frenzy, where you took damage with a Kong, like in a corner or against the wall, in order to make them jump up to, you know, as above the top of the stage. They just go up and up and up, as long as you hold the B button. Literally, you can go up infinitely, and you use that to get over Forest Frenzy. Looks like 1816 exit for Jackie there. Unfortunately, the SJR setup takes a gazillion years, so Joe lost a lot of time there. But so as long as you hold B, if you charge your super jump correctly, you will go upwards infinitely. And then so to combine that with another trick called a jump roll that you guys haven't seen yet, you go upwards infinitely and you roll. So it becomes this elevating cartwheel, and you can go over the top of stages at a really fast speed. And it looks like Joe's probably going to set up for another one right here. He usually goes for it. Probably going to go for Sacrificeless, which is a little bit harder. Yes, he is. All right, he's set up. Again, late on the frame press, so you saw him fly off the top of the screen. So you just got the super jump there, not the jump roll. What you need to do is hit Y on the same frame that you land on an enemy while you're still standing on the ground, and you will roll off the enemy, but the game thinks that you bounced off the enemy as well. So it sends you in this perpetual jump roll state where you're jumping and rolling. And then to combine that with the super jump, you can go upwards infinitely. You'll also be in your cartwheel animation, so you can hit enemies and increase your speed. So the more enemies you hit, the faster you go, up to a cap of 4, which puts you at 200% of your rolling speed. So you are fast-moving monkey at that point. Jackie into Elevator Antics. Second stage, where we use a bonus to skip a good chunk of the stage. And he's in it right now. Joe through Trick Track Trek. He's going to set up for elevator antics SJR, or the snake, or Frem, whatever you want to call it. There's a few names floating around with it right now. Got the super jump charge. Damage with donkey. Again, he was late, so he just jumped off the top of the screen there. Unfortunate. Still anybody's game, though. Still anybody's frame, because World 6 is full of frames, and they save a lot of time. Joe making his way through the bonus. Successful elevator skip by Jacky. Jacky going into Poison Pond now. Third water stage again. No, fourth water stage, fourth and final. And unfortunate death by Joe there. He grabbed the keg, didn't quite mean to, I'm sure. Sometimes your inputs get eaten, things get a little bit wonky when you pick up barrels, so that's quite unfortunate. And he didn't grab half. He's going a little bold there, so he's going to have to start again from the beginning. Anything can still happen, though. World 6 is a monster. Jacky probably going to set up for triple mincer clip here, if I had to guess. Yes, he is. 1, 2, 3, and he's through. Very nice. So just like the Croctopus, these mincers here, they are invulnerable to you. You can't dispatch them, but you are also invulnerable as long as you're lunging. So it's this kind of immovable object meets an impenetrable force, or whatever analogy you want to make. You can't get hurt, and neither can they. Joe messing up elevator skip, no big deal. It's only a few seconds there. Out of the stage safely, though. Jacky rolling through air. So what you do is you run into the cart as Donkey, take damage on the first bird you come to. The game thinks you're simultaneously in the air and on the ground, so you can jump and roll infinitely, getting the 2. Nice job, Jacky. Other than hitting jump rolls on birds, that's pretty much the only optimization people go for in this stage when you have rolling through air active. You can do a jump roll on an earlier set of 2 birds, and it will take you almost all the way to the point where you lose the glitch by going over land again. Whenever you see one of those catwalks, like with the ones with the tires on them right there, that counts as land again. So if you go over it, you lose the rolling through air glitch. That's why we can't do it across the whole stage. Jacky doing some nice tire rolls out of the stage safely. Now he's going into Blackout Basement, which is the second stage where the gimmick is that the lights are out. The lights actually go out completely. It's not like Torchlight Trouble where you can sort of see in the dark a little bit. The lights just totally go out because Nosferatu's in the background flipping the switch on and off. Every 62 seconds the lights will go out and you won't be able to see anything, with the exception of barrels like DK barrels and halfway barrels, and single bananas, but not banana bunches. For whatever reason, those don't show up in the dark. So your cues basically are those items that you can see in the dark, and whatever you can see half the time when the light's on. For the most part, this stage is just a lot of muscle memory, doing things over and over and over again until you know where to go, what to do, even when you're in the dark. And looks like he is through the stage cleanly. Bounce on that claptrap can be a little spooky there. Most players do an extendo through those last 2 cremlings that drop onto you to get over that cremling, the claptrap at the end. If you run into him, you are solo Diddy, and that is a bad time if you didn't grab halfway, which he didn't, so that would have put him basically all the way back to where Joe is, because Joe is probably 5 seconds from entering at this point. Or maybe a little bit longer. I forgot you have to go through Funkies first. Onto Dum Drum. So the boss just drops these enemies at you. Dispatch them as quickly as possible. Usually people will do this fight as Donkey because he can dispatch the last 2 sets of enemies quickly, more quickly than Diddy. You can just jump straight on those naughties and get rid of them right away. As opposed to Diddy having to jump on them twice to stop their roll, and then once they're stopped, hit him again. Jacky, I don't know if he knows, but Diddy actually has a longer fanfare than Donkey does, so swapping right there actually lost him a little bit of time. Now into Trick Track Trek. I'm sorry, Tanked Up Trouble, the other stage with the Trek. This one, you need to grab a bunch of fuel cans to keep your Trek fueled up, otherwise it will fall off the rail. And there are a couple places where you can attempt one-frame tricks in order to save a whole lot of time. I don't think Jacky goes for Creme Tut, and if he knows where he is in comparison to Joe, I think it would be wise of him not to, because there are some instances where the trick will kill you if you go for it incorrectly. But it looks like he's probably going to set up for Bird Tut. Most players go for it. Again, 1/60th of a second here. Frame perfect trick. Rolling the bird a little bit early. I'm sorry, he was late. Bounced off of the bird as opposed to rolling through it, so you can tell that he was late on the frame press there. Got the consolation prize though, so gotta be happy. That jump roll can't really take you anywhere because it's between two tires, but it's just a third chance at a frame that doesn't really do anything. That's why we call it consolation prize. Joe, however, I can almost definitely say will go for Creme. He plays pretty aggressively, especially in races, and he's pretty good at the trick as well, has a lot of confidence in it. So I would be very surprised if he didn't go for Creme Tut right now. And actually, I don't know Jacky's exit time from World 5, but I think it would put them pretty close together. Creme Tut saves 55 seconds, and Bird Tut saves about 42. So if he hits either of those, he's back in this race. Joe says OMFG, so I can only guess what that means. Jacky on his way out of Tut and into Mincers, Manic Mincers. Oh, so it looks like he hit the frame probably. Yep, right there. And then spoiler alerts in chat. Don't look at chat if you don't want to see what happens. Jacky going through Manic Mincers. First appearance of Rambi the Rhino, first and only. And unfortunately he gets the Yoshi treatment eventually. Jacky losing Rambi, getting him back very quickly though. Yeah, looks like he didn't quite get the wiggle right. That, in my opinion, is the hardest part of the trick. He did hit the frame though, so that's a one frame trick, 1/60th of a second, and very, very difficult to wiggle back and forth such that you don't land on the platform to the left and don't land on the trek that you came from on the right. So kudos to him going for it. Kudos to him for hitting it, but unfortunately he couldn't seal the deal. The wiggle is the icing on the cake for that trick. It's unrelenting. Not taking his tire buddy with him. Jacky setting up for Misty Mines SJR. Unfortunately he was early, so he rolled through the enemy there. The rest of his movement pretty clean though. So you see why both of those frame perfect tricks save so much time. You go hurtling through space at rolling speed instead of having to ride this trek the whole way. So it's really quite valuable if you can hit either of those tricks. But unfortunately, if you hit Creme, you get halfway, so you don't even get another attempt. Just because the halfway barrel is lined up with the path that you take if you hit the frame for Creme Tut. Jacky in the claptrap section, now through the armies, and then not doing that last jump there, getting the extendo through the last three snakes, and he's out. Joe losing his rhino, losing his rhino, losing his rhino. He is not happy about that, I'm sure. I don't know how much time playing the stage as the Kongs costs. Unfortunate there. So he lost his Diddy, and he was donkey only, and as everyone knows, if you're donkey, you're dead. So he died. Jacky onto Loopy Lights. Third and final stage where the gimmick is that the lights are out. However, you can turn them back on with these barrels. Lots of really good movement in the stage. It's a personal favorite of mine. Just feels really good to do it cleanly. Joe having a lot of trouble with his Rhino there, which is understandable. He's kind of tough to control. He has a natural input delay that was programmed in, so you'll press jump, and then a few frames later he will actually jump, as opposed to, you know, having an infinite... Oh no, Joe. That is not where you want to lose your Rhino. As opposed to having a immediate response to pressing the jump button, there's a little bit of a delay, so you kind of have to adjust to that when you get on him, which is difficult for a lot of players. Jacky safely out of Loopy Lights with 69 bananas and onto Platform Perils. Tough stage to do correctly. Also another frame perfect trick here, but he's not going to be able to go for it because he just lost his Diddy there. Normally it would be right here off of one of those naughties. I'm sorry, armies. Joe correctly and successfully Yoshi treatment to his Rhino. Something pretty bad is going to happen to Jacky here if Joe's going to catch up, but it is still possible. Anything can happen in Platform Perils. Platform Perils Infinite is a problem. Joe, late on the frame press, you saw the super jump off of that snake there. So that frame saves like 22, 26. Going? Oh, he almost got it. He was a little early there. He was going for Misty Mind's jump roll. Very, very rarely seen trick that saves 80 frames. So 1 1/3 seconds. Jacky onto Neki 2 now, which is the second bird boss. Also RNG whether he appears on the top or the bottom. And here you definitely want him to appear on the bottom because it is much easier to do sort of like a half cycle skip. You can hit him a lot easier from above when he's on the lower side, and you can sort of dodge one of his extra nuts that he spits at you. Looks like it's going to be roughly low 35 for Jacky, if I did my math right. Joe onto Loopy Lights now. Didn't mention it before, but that first claptrap is the only claptrap that you can roll through in the game. For whatever reason, it's programmed differently, so instead of moving, it just stands still. And while all the claptraps in this level will jump at you when you jump, that one does not move. So that sort of is like your experimental like class or whatever. It sort of teaches you the gimmick of the claptraps in this stage, that they will jump at you when you jump. Jacky getting some swag in with the slap slides on K. Rool. Pretty easy fight, scripted. Just jump on him as close as you can to him throwing his crown at you. Ooh, a little bit early there, so he lost his Diddy. He needs to be careful here. This fight is about 2 minutes and 20 seconds or so. So if he takes damage, he could lose a lot of time. So you've only got one Kong left, and you don't get another one, unlike some other K. Rool fights. Ooh, Joe taking a safe right there. He is Diddy only right now, so he does have to be careful because if he takes damage, he will die. And looks like he's going to go for the frame here. He hits it. Very nice. So this is the mythical jump roll that I've been talking about. You land on an enemy and roll off the enemy at the same time. It sends you hurtling through space. So you just get this little peanut going across perils, and you don't have to play the rest of the stage, and it saves time. So K. Rool back up over on Jacky's side, just needs to get through this last cycle, last set of cycles, I should say. Taking these crown hits very safely. Still trying to show off those K. Rool jumps though. He's not one to shy away. And time coming up for Jacky. 34:59 for Jacky. Just barely 34 with no frames, I believe. I don't think he hit any. So that's a pretty good run by all standards. 34 is pretty competitive, especially without hitting any frames. So good on you, Jackie. Congratulations. Looks like Joe's going to have a 37, 44 roughly, 45 maybe. Same sort of thing. Joe's just going to do a K-Rool fight, and usually is pretty good on his K-Rool hits. As I was saying, you just want to hit him as close to him become vulnerable as possible. So he takes his crown off his head and he throws it at you. If you are like optimal, you basically won't even see his crown, so we like to call those crownless hits. Interesting little tidbit here. Jackie actually, I believe, I think he has tendonitis. He has some sort of injury to his wrist, something like that. So he was playing with a little bit of a handicap, but Joe was as well, because Joe has had a cold that he's been fighting. So both of the players having their own obstacles to overcome. Joe also taking damage, and now he's solo donkey, so he'll also have to be careful, just in order not to have to do this fight again. Joe onto the fake credits now. One more set of cycles here. And he is donkey, so he will have to do the proper K-roll jumps. They just sort of look better as donkey just because of his jump animation as compared to Diddy, in my opinion. Rare did indeed love alliteration and changing letters, apparently. Alright. 37-45 for Joe. Not a bad time, considering everything that happened. I'm sure he's a little bit upset with it, but it was still a good performance, in my opinion. 37 in a race is not bad. Not sure how Joe's feeling. I'm not sure if he's going to come in here for this interview, but nice run to both runners. Looks like he needs an invite. Oh, he didn't get one. There he is. What's up, Joe?
You know, so of all things in that race, you know what made me the most mad?
Please tell me.
Missing Misty.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I thought elevator, not missing elevator, but dying in it would have been the one that sent you over the edge, because that was pretty unfortunate with the barrel there.
No, like, I still had like the world 6 frames ahead of me at that point, so that didn't hurt me too much.
Yeah.
But when I missed, but like I had accepted my like loss, right? At that point.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to hit Misty SGR, and then I missed it, and that just made me so upset.
But the
honestly,
thing is, you hit Kremtut though. You hit the frame.
Of all runs, I hit Kremtut.
You hit cream cheese, but the wiggle proved to be too strong.
Yeah, that was pretty lame. Yeah, like I was just laughing the whole time, dude, during this run.
Which is really all you can do. I mean, you are guaranteed out of group stages into bracket,
Yeah.
so at this point, what do you care?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have put up a better race, but Fortunately, it just it wasn't my day, man.
I mean, you have been fighting a cold, so it's understandable.
Yeah,
You've been under the weather, and Jackie had a really good run, all things aside. Like, he had a 34.59 with no frames, so he was
pretty solid.
Yeah, he was a pretty tough
And a death, I
competitor
heard.
today. I'm sorry, say again?
A death I heard too.
I think so, yeah. I don't remember where.
Someone in the chat mentioned it, so.
But yeah, definitely very good performance from him. And I was actually kind of surprised you didn't go for Frenzy, SJR.
Oh, no, I don't go for Frenzy. I'm adamant to not going for it.
Not in races, but I mean, you doing PB attempts.
Oh yeah, of course. That's like you gotta.
Yeah, just you haven't been converted to the race Frenzy SJR attempt yet.
I won't be converted to it.
You won't be.
I straight refuse. It's not happening.
Yeah. Well, there is something to be said about the time that you could theoretically save over those who missed the trick. So, better safe than sorry, I guess.
Hey Stu, listen. All right, man. When we race, you're gonna miss it. That's all I'm gonna say.
He did miss it in a degen race the other night. So, the man is not flawless, but he does have some pretty consistency.
90% is pretty high, yeah.
So yeah, you just gotta hope for that last 10%.
Yep.
No worries, Jackie. Very nice race though. Very, very happy for you and your time. 34 with no frames is very, very good. So you should be happy. And how is your injury doing, by the way, Jackie? If you're there and listening. What else? What else happened? There was RBR. I was sad about. I thought that was the one that was going to catch you up, because if you did hit RBR, that would have actually put you ahead of Jackie at the time.
The real thing that like made me start to be like this isn't gonna work out was Torchlight. I got nuked there, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got pretty nuked in Torchlight. Were you watching Jackie?
Nah.
Okay, yeah, you're just doing your thing, which is good. I fully like understand and relate, and like that is how I do it. Like, I do not want to watch other streams like when I'm racing, because that's just going to end up making me more nervous. But I'm glad to hear that you're doing better, Jackie. I hope that you end up making it through the rest of the tournament and don't have to drop out, because it'd be a shame to see someone of your level of play have to drop out due to injury. I'd really like to see how far you go.
Jackie could get the full sweep in his group now.
Yeah, it's true. He is undefeated so far.
So remains to be seen. Can he also farm the farmer?
Oh, he did? I missed that race.
No, I said can he?
Oh, can he? Well, we'll see.
No, there's no Lost World in DKC 1.
Unfortunate. That was DKC 2 Advent. But yeah. I thought that your race was really good. Unfortunately, you were, I guess, just like a little bit slow on the draw because you were late on every frame. Except for Perils and Tut.
Yeah, I was definitely slow.
But
like, the whole game right now, it just felt like everything was heavier than usual.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of to be expected though, because you're sick, so.
Yeah. So luckily, I won't have to race again until bracket comes around, so that's good.
Oh yeah, because you're finished.
Yeah, you're finished.
Good. Well, congrats on finishing group stages. Congrats on clinching your bracket placement. And thank you, Speed Gaming, for hosting. Thank you, August, for hanging out with me in commentary. Thanks, Joe and Jackie, for the good race. And thank you, Twitch chat, for being wonderful.
Rolling out.